I'm Susan Lovejoy. I am the teacher of the criminal justice class, and today my students were preparing this short video for you all about a product called Nutraloaf.
I'm Greg.
I'm Nick.
I'm Brent.
I'm Justin.
I'm Trent.
I'm Katie. I'm Jade.
I'm JD.
I'm Sean.
I'm Steven.
Okay.
Alright, Nutraloaf is food served in prison for people who have behavior issues. They say the texture of it is like meatloaf, but there's a wider variety of ingredients. Other names for it is seg loaf, prison loaf, special management loaf. And the inmates say it tastes horrible.
Nutraloaf consists of about 900 calories, 2 slices 3 times a day. To receive Nutraloaf, you need to assault a guard, assault an inmate, or just not cope with the jail life. Cool thing about Nutraloaf is it can be served on a paper plate, paper towel with no silverware or any utensil to eat it with. You're done. Go.
Nutraloaf has been challenged by inmates as violating the 8th Amendment as being a cruel and unusual punishment. The first case that we found that shows this is the Vermont case in 2006 where an inmate challenged Nutraloaf as being cruel and unusual by not tasting very good and just giving him all sorts of stomach and body problems.
The next case was Gordon versus Barnett. It was October 30th, 2009. Nutraloaf diet as punishment for his disciplinary infractions. As such, he was entitled to a due process hearing.
Another case, Prude versus Clark, which took place March 27th, 2012. A prisoner that was transferred to county jail, in which they only fed him Nutraloaf. After 2 days, he eventually started having severe stomach pains, severe constipation, started vomiting up his meals, who eventually got transferred to the infirmary, who then filed a lawsuit trying to get it banned. Out of all of these cases, none of them violate the 8th Amendment of being cruel and unusual punishment. Therefore, they can still continue to serve it in prisons and jails.
The vegetarian version of Nutraloaf contains chili powder, dry red beans, eggs, raw onion, salt, whole wheat flour, oil, frozen textured vegetable protein, raw cabbage, tomato juice or puree, raw carrots, raw potatoes, and non-fat dry milk. The meat version of Nutraloaf is ground beef, ground chicken, celery, carrots, beans, rice, apples, tomatoes, cabbage, miscellaneous vegetables, oatmeal, salt, and potatoes.
Some people, including inmates, have dietary restrictions. If this meal would be served to a person of the Muslim religion, the ingredients could not consist of pork, gelatin from an animal source, meat coming from a lawful animal which died before slaughter, blood, alcohol, or carnivorous animals and birds. So the only Nutraloaf that could be served to Muslims is the vegetarian version.
If you need a gluten-free diet, you must get rid of all wheats and breads, and sometimes you need to get rid of the non-dairy cheese because not all cheeses and instant potatoes are gluten-free.
Kosher, which is the diet of Jewish faith, where the only restriction is that the food has to be prepared a certain way, and only meat that can't be consumed is animals with cloven hooves, such as pigs. Either Nutraloaf would work as long as it fits the kosher diet.
The most common food allergies are milk, eggs, peanuts, tree nuts, fish, shellfish, soy, and wheat. In order to serve Nutraloaf to an inmate with a food allergy, you would need to substitute the milk or wheat items for something else.
Food service. There is a nationwide company called Aramac that does produce this commercially. And maybe you'll end up working for Aramac one day, but they produce commercial foods for many different institutions, including correctional institutions, and Nutraloaf is one of the products that they can purchase. So, with my class, I have told them that typically in a prison diet, you are offered a meat version of a meal and a vegetarian version of a meal. Should they add Nutraloaf as a third choice for all of these people that have dietary restrictions?
Yes.
Okay. Well, do you think that it should be used for disciplinary purposes?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's going to be used for disciplinary purposes, I can guess that we would continue to have lawsuits filed because people say that it tastes absolutely dreadful. So food service, this is why we need your help. We need your help in that we would like to taste the first version, the vegetarian version. We would love it if you would make the meat version so we could taste that also. One of the suggestions on the website is that perhaps if it was fried, that it would taste better. So maybe we could taste the product fried as well. But the biggest challenge is maybe you could make a version finally that would taste better, that would add some sort of spices or flavorings or something to make this be a product that would be more palatable by these different inmates. So thank you very much, and we hope that you are ready for the challenge. See ya.
Alright, guys, today we made 5 different Nutraloafs. It's the second part of the Nutraloaf presentation. We did a meat variety, baked, a meat variety fried, a vegetarian variety that is baked, a vegetarian variety that is fried, and then your challenge was to make one that tastes a little bit better, so we tried to do that, so we'll see how that came out. So I have 5 students that are going to talk a little bit about the Nutraloaf and different aspects of it.
Well, prisons use Nutraloaf as a punishment because it's very tasteless and dry and frankly disgusting. They are allowed to use it because it has all the food groups. For example, in the meat Nutraloaf, it has cabbage, carrots, potato flakes, spinach, tomato paste, and garlic for vegetables, applesauce for the fruit, breadcrumbs for the grain, beans and ground beef for the protein, and milk powder for the dairy. They have many lawsuits against the Nutri-Grain, and unfortunately, all of the lawsuits have kind of fell through because of they can't really do anything about it since they're following all the rules. So it looks like they're just going to keep on using Nutraloaf as a punishment.
Reasons why is not good because they really have no strong flavors in them. In the Nutraloaf, there's no pepper, no salt, no onions, no garlic, like nothing strong to actually keep the flavor. A bunch of this, just like they just make sure it just doesn't taste good. It's just terrible. It's really just bland because the ingredients for it is whole wheat bread, or wheat bread I mean, non-dairy cheese, raw carrots, seedless raisins, Great Northern beans, vegetable oil, tomato paste, milk with powdered milk, so that's even worse. And potato flakes dehydrated. It's just like bland. All they do is just pretty much whip it together and just throw it all in one pan, and then they just fry it or bake it. It has no flavor to it at all.
The first one that we're gonna try is the vegetarian Nutraloaf. It's really easy to make. Like he said, you just pretty much throw all the ingredients into a bowl, mix together, and bake it. It's cost effective. It's really cheap because like they have bread, spinach, carrots, stuff like that. Really cheap stuff to buy. The second one is the vegetarian fried, and it's simple to make as well. The only difference is instead of baking it, you put it in a pan and fry it. Prisons don't really use the fried version because it costs a little bit more to make, and it's too fatty.
Mr. Wright, what is non-dairy cheese?
That's a great question.
What is it?
I don't know. We use dairy cheese.
Oh.
I know what it is. It's a processed product. You can get American cheese that's non-dairy.
It's made with
It's made
oil?
with hydrogenated oil. But I didn't buy any. We just use
Are we
regular
all
cheese.
eating it together?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, I guess some of already started. All right, the one that you're trying right now is the baked
Baked?
Nutraloaf.
Let's go. Baked.
Hey Justin, can you grab me one? Can you grab me one?
It's just really dry, thick bread.
Yummy.
Only fried version.
How would you attempt to make this? This is disgusting.
Yeah.
I just want to keep
trying.
It's pretty disgusting.
Just take one tiny fork. Mr. Wright said you have to try it. One little or the class.
One little bite.
Come on, we did it.
We did it. You can do it.
Audrey is protesting.
Which one is that?
Fried one.
I actually like Here we go.
It's like damp cardboard. Might help.
You like that?
I'm not feeling good. When we started passing them out, you did not hear Nick finish, but what he mentioned was it would be impossible for a prison to fry them because you'd have to have a frying area the size of this table. Every prison is overloaded with prisoners. You'd never get them out on time. It probably took us twice as long to fry them as it did just to throw them in the oven. Which one did you like better, the fried or baked?
Fried.
Yeah, the fried definitely tasted better. So go ahead and make the end.
The next item we are going to pass out is sweet Nutraloaf. That contains cabbage, spinach, tomato paste, garlic, applesauce, breadcrumbs, ground beef, beans, and dried powdered milk. Sweet Nutraloaf is very cost-efficient price for an average bag of vegetables at 99 cents. All flavors save the Nutraloaf due to huge amount of sweeteners, and if it was inside, it would take too long. It will change the amount of calories in the Nutraloaf.
This one I'm using it. I'm taking out the triangle.
It's spelled
Yeah, if there's any vegetarians, this one has meat in it.
You said that after you gave it to Krista.
What is this? Why does that look like Joe?
Let's see this.
These ones are better. Pass those around.
See if that's something that we made taste good. I think it is. The onion.
This is that one.
Alright, this next one is also, this is the exact same recipe. This is just fried version.
Wow.
So you'll taste the difference. That one's baked, that's why it's dry and crumbly. Yeah, there we go.
Dude, that's fried.
I don't know.
That's the fried.
It's fried with meat in it.
No. I thought frying made everything better, but
Probably like the first two.
All right, Nate, you're up.
Okay. The fifth version is the ways to make Nutraloaf taste better. It's going to be cost effective. All they use is like oregano, salt, pepper, onions, and garlic. Just it kind of gives it a better flavor. It's a lot less bland.
Did you do that to the meat version or the vegetarian?
We're doing this fifth one right now.
Is that a meat version or a vegetarian?
Vegetarian version. Yeah.
This is the better one.
It would be very easy for a prison to make it taste better. I think they don't on purpose because from what we found, it was used as punishment more than anything.
Right. Well, that's the loss.
I wouldn't say it's good, but it's better than the other ones.
All of it's good. I was a lot. It's like
all drop potatoes.
Except for what I love to eat on right now.
One that we made. Yeah, this is the one that tastes good.
All right, we got some pen.
I do.
Audrey, would your dog do this? No, would your dog do this?
So the reason that this one tastes a little better is because we added salt, pepper, garlic, some Frank's Red Hot. We used whole milk instead of powdered milk, and we actually put eggs in it to make it rise a little bit, so it wasn't like such a brick. So you notice it was a little bit softer, a little bit spongier.
I like the bricks. I like it.
So which was your favorite?
Which one was your favorite is the question. Who likes vegetarian first off?
Vegetarian fried is pretty good.
I think the vegetarian fried
Tastes like home fries.
is better.
What about the meat one that was fried?
I like the baked meat.
Baked ones. Did anybody like the one that we put salt and pepper in better?
Yeah.
Good. I hated them.
That was the fries one, right?
That one your mom. Oh, good. You guys have any questions for us about Nutraloaf? Nate, listen. Any questions about Nutraloaf or the making of it?
Just eat it.